Literally the thought that kept me going when I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning for practice was, I will get into a good school and this will all be worth it. And I'll leave this place and it'll all be worth it. Like, that is the toxic mentality that drove me. And I want to say this so that you don't make the same mistake.
Woke up at 11 o'clock, I ain't got no job, what the hell should I do today?
Hey you, it's Katie U, and I'm here for the long, coveted, awaited, highly requested video. How did I get into an Ivy League school? This video will be divided up into 4 parts. Number 1, it's going to be all my stats, like the quick rundown, the quick list. So for those of you who came for like a quick rundown of things, that's going to be the first part, so you can just click out if I don't want to waste on y'all's time. But I mean, I do be giving some juicy advice later, though, so maybe stay. Number 2 is going to be all of my awards / scholarships, like things that I can put down for clout so that the admissions officers are like, ooh. Number 3, my extracurriculars, what I stuffed my schedule in free time when I wasn't crying over my grades. 4, it's going to be realistic advice looking back now. I think that this video is going to be quite different from the typical like how I got in, because those videos are usually made by college seniors who like are still on that high, which I totally understand, like that high carried me.
For an entire year, that high carried me.
So it's okay. Well, I do regret not capitalizing off of a college reaction, acceptance, admission video. I'm kind of glad that I'm making this video 2 years out. This is kind of going to be me reacting to my application because I haven't looked at it in 2 years. And I'm kind of going to be roasting myself, not going to lie. It's just like a coping mechanism that I have when I am confronted with something I hate, and I kind of hate like who I was back then. So yes, I'm going to be giving you all the juicy little details, but I'm also going to be roasting myself and telling you what you can do differently. So let's get into it. This is the first part of all my stats. SAT, I got a 1560 in total, 770 in the reading and writing section, and then math I got 790, which is crazy because I hate math. I think it just goes to show math, you can definitely like work the system and get better as long as you do tons and tons of practice problems. I would say reading and writing, even though I'm much more of a humanities person than a math person, I believe you can improve your math score a lot more easier than reading and writing, because reading and writing, they do try to trick you. And I got a 24 out of 24 in my essay. In terms of essay tips, I definitely wrote a lot of practice essays as well. My biggest tip is like, get a format down that no matter what 2 texts you're asked to compare or synthesize or whatever, you have like those juicy introduction and transition sentences that you can just plug into every single practice essay you do, so that when you are under a time crunch and the adrenaline is rushing and you can't really think straight, you have those flowery sentences that you can just pull out and just plug and chug. That really helps for me because I didn't have to come up with these crazy grammar structures on the spot. So I think that was what really helped my essay stand out, because it sounded like a fully fleshed out, thought out essay because I had been thinking about it for so long as I practiced for it. I didn't take the ACT because after I got my score that was good enough for the SAT, I was like, I cannot go through that again. I can't. Funny story, in my school, this is nice of them, gave out like a free ACT test to like everybody in our grade. I really skipped school that day.
She was traumatized.
Pro tip, I don't know. Next, my SAT subject test. I submitted US history, which I got a 790 on, and then I submitted world history, which I got a 730 on. And then AP subject test. I took 8 APs, I'll list them on the screen, and I got 6 5s and 2 4s.
Well, that doesn't look like 6 5s and 2 4s.
I would say APs, they did teach me a lot, they taught me how to grind. I self-studied for a lot of my APs because my school was really small and they didn't offer a lot of humanities AP courses, so I self-studied for those. Another thing I'll say is that I only took AP subject tests on the stuff that I knew I would perform well at. Like, I did not take AP Calc. I hate math. I did not take AP chemistry, bio, whatever. At Brown in particular, like even if you don't have like the proper requirements, if you like beg the professor, I have done everything I could to get into a class, and it worked, even though I didn't take the AP for it. So that's something to keep in mind.
Also, I forgot to film literally the most basic statistic that there is. Classic me. I had a 4.0 GPA unweighted and a 4.67 weighted. Moving on.
What's next on on the list? Oh yeah, my awards and my scholarships. So I put down here that I was a United States Senate Youth Delegate, which is the US Senate Youth Program. It is a $10,000 scholarship and it awards students that have pursued history and political science and social justice careers throughout high school and basically encourages them to keep going in college. They took us as delegates to a week-long immersive trip in DC where we met with politicians and we just got to see them in action. We did meet the president and we met the first lady. She was wearing Louboutin heels. I remember that very clearly.
Walk a mile in these Louboutins.
I also put here that I was a Koch Scholar semi-finalist at the time because the results hadn't come out. And then I actually ended up becoming a finalist, so I sent them a follow-up email saying like, hey, I got it. The Coca-Cola scholarship is, I'm reading it from the website, 150 Coca-Cola scholars from the graduating high school class of that year are selected to receive a $20,000 scholarship from the Coke company. Having those two scholarships in my application, I think it said a lot without having to say a lot, you know what I mean? And they really helped me financially as well, so I would definitely advocate for pursuing scholarships because they're giving out money. All you gotta do is
Pick me. I deserve it. I deserve the dollars.
I also received the Superior Writing Award, which basically awarded the top US junior writers chosen by the National Council of Teachers of English. So that was also another national award that highlighted my passion for writing. I also put Student of the Year, which I got in different subjects. Like I was, I think, a World Languages Student of the Year one year, and then like the English Student of the Year the other year. So those were all my awards and scholarships. Now I'm gonna get into my extracurriculars. I literally don't remember what I did. I don't know her.
Oops.
I'm gonna be reading them out in the order that I put them, and I remember agonizing about this order when I was in high school. Like, girl, nobody cares. The admissions officer, I'm sure, was like, first on the list is that I was a congressional intern. They wrote me a recommendation letter, and it was a pretty nice one, so I think that meant a lot, and I'm still very, very grateful for that experience to this day. I love, though, how I literally said,
Regulates and records postal communication.
just say you check the mail.
Stop. You cannot put that in.
I'm just trying to say happy birthday to the senator.
I am the
I'm just-
regulator of
I'm
postal
just-
communication.
It's a free country. I don't understand why you're doing
But
that.
I
What senator?
regulate what gets postal communicated around
What does
here
that even
in your
mean?
envelope.
What
No,
does that
no,
even
no.
mean?
The second on my list is that I was the founder and president of the Eyes of Peace campaign. The Eyes of Peace campaign is a campaign that I started at my own school where I designed t-shirts and I organized a whole marketing campaign to sell t-shirts in order to raise money, and I donated the funds to the United Nations. Next on the list, National Honor Society.
Please stop.
I was the elected president. I couldn't just say president.
Try hard.
The next extracurricular on the list is Arizona Governor's Youth Commission. It was another forum where 50 youth would come together to host talks and conventions about like youth politics and youth engagement. I was also on the Special Olympics Youth Activation Committee, and Special Olympics is, as many of you might know, like a nonprofit that promotes equitable Olympics and athletic competitions for people with disabilities. And I helped through redesigning the health webpage on the Arizona branch's website. Next on the list, I put in my athletics, cheerleading. I also did cheerleading as a California All-Stars like competitive performer when I was in the earlier stages of high school, and the only reason why I had to quit was because I dislocated my elbow, and so the doctor told me not to do anything strenuous ever again, and I didn't listen, and I just moved to my high school team. Perseverance! The next two are internships. I was simultaneously a research assistant intern for 2 professors at Arizona State University, which is like the closest university here where I live. The professors are always doing studies and grants and writing books, so I just helped out organize all their data and like write up my own evaluations. Now I think it's just time for like the nitty-gritty advice, right? The final part of this video is just an open and raw reflection and realistic advice, and hopefully it can help somebody. This might come off as kind of rambly, so I apologize in advance. This is according to my mom. Like, I don't remember saying this to her because I was so delirious and sleep deprived when she woke me up. But like, I would literally take naps and have full-on nighttime sleeps on that floor so that I wouldn't sleep well, so that I'd wake up easier to my alarm so that I could study more.
But you did this for what?
That is not healthy, guys. Don't do what I did. Please. Literally the thought that kept me up, that kept me going when I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning for practice was, I will get into a good school and this will all be worth it. And I'll leave this place and it'll all be worth it. Like, that is the toxic mentality that drove me. And I want to say this so that you don't make the same mistake. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Like, it broke me. I literally was in the worst mental state. You as a human life are more important than whatever degree, whatever institution accepts you. Like, please know that.
피리어드.
I'm sure everybody tells you this. Colleges like to see like a niche, like a spike. That spike was kind of me going through the motions to get into college. See, I'm really exposing myself. I'm really exposing myself through this video. But please, if you can do anything differently from me, do a niche that you actually enjoy. And I think I deceived myself into enjoying this niche, which I very much still have a passion for social justice, but I just don't think that I was pursuing it in the right vein, which was political science and policy. Like, I'm much more comfortable doing it through a media lens now. I didn't know that at the time. Try not to go through the motions like I did. I did not lie at all about any of my qualifications, but like, it was my persona. Like, that wasn't me. And I am sad that I felt pressured by family, school, community, like my upbringing, to act and become this entire mold and mask of a person that I was not in order for me to feel validated by an institution that in the end profits off of my idolization of them.
Straight facts, bro.
There's this saying that I was listening to yesterday from a podcast, and it was like, we learn how to play the game right, but sometimes we're just playing the wrong game altogether, so it doesn't matter. I learned how to play the game right, but look at me now, like,
Look at me now.
I totally am a different person and I'm pursuing different paths, and I think it was meant to be, but I just want you who still has this whole process ahead of them to understand that the college application process is not the end all be all. Although my mascot is a brown bear, and this bear is not brown, it's still a bear, so for my outro, he'll be making a cameo. Please let me know if you like seeing college content because I have a lot I could say. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye! Brown was my least favorite application. I literally went to school that day and was like,
Oh my god, guys, I submitted my Brown application last night. Like, I literally started it like 2 days ago, and the deadline was yesterday night, and it was just so bad. Like, it was literally, out of like the 39,000 that I've submitted so far, it was just the worst. Like, I'm literally gonna get rejected.
guys, watch Katie literally get in and go to Brown. Like, what? Wouldn't that be so funny? Like,